what an amazing ride it's been. Spending a whole year down at the courthouse before I even got elected. It's been 5 years of my life, and it's been such an exciting time to be part of Douglas County government. I mean, so much good has happened in the last 5 years that's going to be great for our community going forward. And I'm not taking credit for that. I mean, so much of it was already in action. And that first year when I just sat there and watched the meetings, I was watching it, kind of the seed being planted. And then over the last 4 years, I've seen how we've gotten to watch it grow, and now we're realizing it. You look at the Criminal Justice Coordinating Council and the Behavioral Health Leadership Coalition and our expanded mental health services and the realization of that behavioral health campus. I mean, how exciting for our community. The adoption and implementation of so many alternative to incarceration programs, and how we've brought all the stakeholders together, and they're working, everybody's working tirelessly to see what they can do. And it's going to be an ongoing, continuing process. And what I think is a new and very strong relationship that we formed with the district court. Thanks to Sarah and Brooke and some amazing, brilliant people, we've secured a AAA bond rating for the county. We've really grown. We've hired a communication specialist, an HR manager, a director of capital projects. We permanently hired, our director of behavioral health projects. We created Consolidated Fire District #1. I mean, so many exciting things, and there's so much more. I mean, I can't even list it all. And some of them seem like they were just yesterday, and they were, 4 years ago. But, we had some big challenges. We had major flooding events. We had a tornado. And now we're in a pandemic. But one of the things that really I felt so honored to be a part of and to witness is that in these difficult, challenging times, the resilience and the compassion and the generosity of our community members. And during the good days and the challenging days and just the day-to-day ho-hum mundane operations of the county, I've observed the professionalism and the passion and love for our community and the empathy and respect that is displayed by our county staff and our elected officials and our social service agencies and community partners and community leaders and just volunteers in our community, and how hard everyone works to improve the lives of our Douglas County residents. And it's just really something to see firsthand when it all comes together. So it's been a great opportunity, and there's no way I can ever thank everyone that I want to thank. But I'm going to try to thank some groups, and I'm going to start with what's behind me on my wall, and that's thank you to all of our first responders, whether they're full-time volunteers, but they protect our community. And thank you so much to our healthcare workers who right now find themselves in a position that none of us probably ever dreamed of, and they're working hard under really stressful conditions. Thank you to our social service agencies who serve the most vulnerable in our community. Thank you to the township officials who a lot of people don't even know they exist, and they don't get a lot of credit for what they do, but they work hard taking care of their neighbors. And our municipal officials and employees, district court judges and their staff, our county elected officials. And I mentioned volunteers. I mean, we have volunteers in our community who just work tirelessly, but there's a special group of them who works, it's like their life mission. They work tirelessly to share and protect the history of our county. And I really admire that, because they don't get paid anything. It's all heart, and they just want to make sure that history is there for others to enjoy and learn from. And like I said, our selfless community members who not only generously volunteer their time for anything and everything, but also provide funding for a lot of our local organizations. County staff, I mean, I have never met a more amazing group of people. You guys, it's thankless work. I mean, you get criticized, you get yelled at, but you guys are amazing. And thank you for all the work you do, just managing the daily business of the county. Sarah, man, your leadership and your vision for the future, I feel really good about where we are, so thank you. My fellow commissioners, I don't know, I'm getting a message. Am I still online? Trying to get through this. My fellow commissioners, your professionalism and your commitment to and your love for Douglas County. Nancy, as a resident, I want to thank you for 12 years of your selfless service and commitment to Douglas County. You are truly going to be missed. Commissioner Kelly, thank you for your commitment to the process. You do a great job, and thank you for your leadership as we welcome in 2 new commissioners. And then, thank you to the constituents who invited me into their homes and their lives. When I decided to run, one of the first experiences I had was I went to a township meeting and one of the township members was ill. And they said, we're just going to go have the meeting at Charlie's house. And I'd never been to a commission meeting. And I followed this guy down a dark country road that was snow covered, and it was January. And I'm like, okay. And I mean, I remember sitting around Charlie's kitchen table and listening to their township meeting and then listening to them talk about issues. And I remember his wife bringing us pie and cookies and coffee. And it's like, this is what it means to serve your community. To me, this is local politics. This is what it's all about. And so I want to thank everyone, because over the years, it happened many times that I was invited into people's homes and their lives and got to sit around their kitchen table or on their front porch. I had a meeting in a cemetery, and it's things like that that never get in the newspaper. But when you can help people solve those personal issues that they're facing with the county and just need a little help, it makes everything else worthwhile. So it's truly been an honor and a privilege to serve Douglas County and to serve with you. And as Jim Flory said 4 years ago, I'm going to miss the clowns, but not the circus.
Well, unlike Michelle, I didn't do my homework for this particular moment, but I would say that Michelle covered all of the bases, and there are so many bases that, to people to recognize, and accomplishments of the county, and praise for the staff and administration, and for commissioners present and past. So I certainly echo everything Michelle said. I guess it is true. Nobody really knows. So few people actually know there is county government. That's the first lesson I learned, is that people barely know the county exists until there's a big problem. And what I learned was that the county not only exists, but it does remarkable things. It does get stuff done. And sometimes it's messy, but I have learned so much, not just as a commissioner, but as a citizen. And I wish every citizen had the opportunity to sit in a commissioner's chair for a little while and kind of learn the behind the scenes stuff that goes into being to doing local government. And I guess I really kind of like Mike. Boy, today all day long I've thought about government and the value of government, the worth of it, the necessity of it, and how we don't necessarily understand it, you know, and um, and how we really need to understand it, and how things in our democracy work. Today was it was hard to see, because I have grown to love government, absolutely adore government when it's done well. And I guess I would just say, Sarah, Jill, Patrick, Michelle, Mike, Jim, Craig Weinog, all the folks, you know, just a long list of folks who make county government really good, really good. I'm so grateful for all the lessons, for all the experiences, and for the gift of getting to serve, because it has truly been one of the very, very best parts of my life. And it's not many people get to do it. And I'm really grateful I had the chance, and grateful for, super grateful that in this county government, you can have a great idea and then pass it on to other people who know how to get it done, which is kind of a pattern that I found that I had. I drove Craig Weinog crazy with ideas, and not all of them came about, but because the county staff and the other commissioners were so receptive, and it's a creative organism, some new things got to happen that I think that I'm really proud of. And so all that said, I'm just really grateful. I'm sad to leave, but I also excited for the new commissioners, and I know that the county administration and staff, everyone in this organization, will welcome them in and mentor them and help them become the best commissioners they can be, and make our county government even stronger. So that's it. Thank you, Michelle, for covering so many bases. That's helpful. And Patrick, to you, thank you for your leadership and for carrying on. I really, it's good to know that you'll be the senior commissioner now, and you're just such a great leader, and especially for taking us through this COVID time, the technical stuff, and the kind of the grace with which you handled all of that, is incredibly helpful, and it's going to be needed for who knows how much longer. So anyway, that's it. I'll miss you guys, and just wish the very, very best for you. And thank you for all your service too.
Well, Commissioner Derusseau and Commissioner Thellman, I don't think we're done celebrating you here for a little bit. So Sarah, I'm not sure how we want to do this. I have some thoughts. I don't know if now would be a good time, or do we want to go staff first, or how do we want to do this? Or you also had an administrative memo that you might want to share with us. Yeah, that's gone. So maybe I'll start and then we'll turn it over to staff, if that's okay. You know, I think it is certainly unfortunate that at this final meeting of these two amazing public servants, we're having to do it over Zoom, because I think many in the community would have loved to have been here to share their gratitude for your work, Michelle and Nancy, over the past 4 and 12 years respectively. And my words, certainly, I don't intend them to replace such a gathering. That's not the intent at all. But I hope that you'll give me just a few thoughts. I'll share that my connection with Commissioner Derusseau, I've told Sarah this story, happened long before we met. 2 years prior, when Michelle ran for county commission, in the words of a former county administrator, no one did more to prepare to be a candidate for county commission than Michelle Derusseau. I heard that she spent 14 months learning about the role, hoping that voters would elect her to it. And I'll tell you, as a candidate for county commission, nothing could be more imposing. I just thought, oh my gosh. She took her responsibility as county commissioner so seriously, and she gave it the respect that this office deserves. And I have always admired that. And early on, I was really impressed with Michelle's attention to detail, those pesky minutes, which she was never quite ready to approve, and her leadership during one of what had to be our most difficult times in the community when that tornado ripped through in May of 2019. I will always remember that and appreciate that. I was a new commissioner and literally had no idea what to do. And Michelle, you were so steady with us, and that was truly impressive. If you've never met Michelle, you'll learn that you never want to play poker against her. She holds her cards so close to her vest. And I have confirmed with conversations all over the community that it's not just me. But here's what I know now. She has a huge heart. She cares so much for so many people in this community. That sign behind her is not by mistake. Those signs all over our community didn't come out of nowhere. They came from Michelle's heart. And I am just so impressed with the compassion that she has for people in our community. You heard a little bit of it in her words. And I hope it guides us all into what we could be: diligent, faithful, hardworking servants of Douglas County. And so if I can speak on behalf of our community, and I think I've been elected to do that, Commissioner Derusseau, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Patrick.
And for you, Nancy, I will tell you that one of my mentors always asked me, what are you doing that is legacy work? Work that isn't about the credit, but instead is about what will happen long after you're gone, what will be felt long after you're gone. I think the better phrase for that would be, what is Nancy Thellman work? Nancy's impact on this community will be felt for generations. Generations will feel her impact on historical resources. Generations will benefit from her work on agriculture and national resources in Douglas County. You heard a little bit about agritourism tonight. And too often, these are resources we take for granted. We take our food systems for granted. And you will see the legacy of Nancy's work there as well. I'm so grateful to Nancy for helping a city boy like me understand the values and characters of our rural residents, even when I was on Planning Commission. Thank you, Nancy, for opening my mind to new perspectives and your reservoirs of gratitude. If you haven't had a chance, members of the public, to hear Commissioner Thellman's speech for the groundbreaking of our Behavioral Health Crisis and Recovery Center, yet another legacy project, I encourage you to do so. I think you will really hear who Nancy is. Her words are a testament to what Nancy gave Douglas County, and that's love. She said, we don't talk about it enough, and we should. And thank you, Nancy, for showing us that compassion and that commitment and that dedication to Douglas County. We will all be better for it for generations to come. We are sincerely grateful for your service.
Thank you.
Sarah, I know you've got a team lined up here.
Yeah, thank you. You know, I want to say just a few things, and it's gonna be hard. I've really had the privilege to work for this commission, and this has been really my first commission. So it's been a tremendous honor to work for you, and it's a tremendous honor to see how this commission has really thrived in such difficult circumstances. And you don't hear us talk a lot about it, but I have spent a lot of my professional career in another county nearby, where local elected leadership was not like this. And I think you should know how inspiring it is to work for solid, good, properly motivated, thoughtful, considerate local elected officials. It's why people like Jill and I get into this profession, is to work for people like you. And you know, Michelle and Nancy, you two are some of the finest local elected officials I've ever had the privilege of even seeing work, let alone have the privilege to work for. So thank you for that. It is a rare thing. Please know how important that is to all of us. I would be remiss if I didn't echo Commissioner Kelly's, you know, thoughts about Commissioner Derusseau. You know, the countless meetings where we were in this chambers and she was the only person sitting in the room. And the number of times Jim Flory asked if you had any public comment. You know, it just, the dedication and the homework that you have put in before you were elected, and that while you have been a commissioner, is just really admirable, and it showed, and I appreciate it. And for Nancy, you know, I've told this story to others, and I don't know that I've ever told it to you, but you know, coming from the environment where Bill and I worked before we came here to Douglas County, my first day on the job, I met you on the second floor of the courthouse, and you handed me a dozen eggs from your farm. And you said, welcome aboard, you know, welcome to Douglas County. Here are some eggs from my farm that I want to give to you, and to just sort of, you know, welcome you on board. And I remember, I think I maybe even called Jill and said, you're not going to believe this. You know, a commissioner did something nice. I mean, but your approach, you know, to me, what is so amazing about that story is how approachable you have always been through this process. How, you know, just genuinely kind you are as a human being. And so thank you for that. And again, as Patrick said, your eloquence, you know, it's been so inspiring for us during this time. The way you even just now off the cuff sort of gave this beautiful message of thanks is really just phenomenal. And I'm gonna miss those Nancy moments where get a text from Bob Tryansky or Jill that just says, man, Nancy just, I can't believe what she just said. She said what was all in our heart about a particular moment in time. So thank you for that. So I would be remiss if we didn't sort of share some of your parting gifts. And, you know, along Patrick's theme of, you know, what we really wanted was an ability for you all to hear these words in person from people. So, and you're not going to have that because, you know, we're in the time of COVID and Zoom meetings, and we don't have, you know, large receptions where we can thank you for your service. So the staff around here talked a little bit, and we put together two different things that you'll be able to come pick up at your leisure for you. The first, and Robin's going to turn on our camera and play display Vanna for us on some of these items. The first, the traditional county clock. Whenever you retire from county government, you receive a lovely clock that has a picture of the courthouse and a clock and some words of our thanks for you. And then secondarily, to try to, in some small way, replicate what we have not had an opportunity to do tonight. We put together a book, and we asked community folks to send us some thoughts about each of you individually, and your service to Douglas County. And we put it together with some pictures of your tenures in this community. And we have that for you to pick up with some really lovely thoughts from members of the community that want to thank you for your work that you've done. So hopefully you have that with you, and you can, it'll be a small token of our appreciation for your service. That's
Wow, that's beautiful. Thank you. I can't wait to pick up the clock in that book. Sounds like it's a real treasure. Thank you so much. That's a lot of work to go through, but means a lot. Thank you.
And thank you for the kind words and I'll look forward to seeing that. And I just don't know what to say, but I guess I already said enough. But I want to go back to something you guys said about Nancy. I mean, my first year, or first, 6 months to a year, I didn't need to feel like I needed to say anything because Nancy was so eloquent. I always felt so inadequate when I would try to speak. But you did it again tonight. I mean, I had to work for hours to try to think of what I wanted to say tonight, and you say these beautiful words. But yeah, thank you, Patrick and Jill and Robin and Carrie and Daviana and Sarah. I mean, this year has really been a bummer. I've missed our interaction and the just coming down there and sitting around and visiting, and but I'm really going to miss that.